It's another NCIX PC edition of Tech Tips, and it starts like this. Amadeus, 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 oh, Amadeus, or something along those lines. I don't actually know the song, but the point is, come rock me AMDS, because AMD stuff inside.
Simpsons did it.
Thank you, Jack. So the Amadeus series is all about combining the latest in AMD Gaming Evolved technology. So you got your multi-core processors with all three tiers available with either 6 or 8 core CPUs, as well as GCN or Graphics Core Next GPU architecture. So that is the latest AMD graphics cards. Having multiple processors as well as the capable OpenCL performance of AMD GPUs allows you not only to game, but also to operate creative, creation software. So content creation is another sort of, secondary and yet very appropriate role for a PC like this one. It's all put together on a GIgabyte motherboard, ensuring performance, stability, and long-term reliability of your new gaming PC. And this one right here is the Tier 3 system. Now, all three systems will be housed in the Enermax Conus COENUS chassis with red LED lighting, and let's take an exterior tour of it because I've actually never seen one before. It's got the usual kind of Enermax look, so it does have a bit of a overall plastic front bezel, but I think they've actually managed to do it pretty darn tastefully here. There's 3 5¼ inch vented bays at the front, as well as an open vent also in the front. Well, there was the side panel protective window covering that was kind of like, a preview of what's to come, because over here, actually, let's finish with the front I/O first. So, front I/O is taken care of. There we go. Give you guys a better angle of that. 2 USB 3.0 ports, power and reset switches, as well as front panel audio switches. Also on the top, since we're up here, we've got mounting for up to 2 120 or 2 140mm fans, or if you really wanted to, then you could mount a single 160mm fan right in the middle. On the left-hand side of the case, you've got a nice big tinted window that gives you a really nice view of that red illuminated interior. So it's very subtle. It's more like the NCIX's subtle glow sort of lighting effect, as opposed to being really, really in your face, like glinting off the heat pipes on the graphics card. Over on the right, there's one of those bulged out side panels, so that cable management behind the motherboard tray is a piece of cake. And then moving around to the back, we've got the I/O that is provided by the aforementioned GIgabyte board. So that's 8 USB 2 ports, PS2, optical audio out, 2 USB 3 ports, gigabit Ethernet, 7.1 audio, and then of course, our graphics card down here. That power supply is also provided by Enermax, and we're gonna go ahead and have a look at it once we open this bad boy up. At the heart of the system is an AMD FX 8350 8-core processor. Remember, this is the Tier 3 system, and that's cooled by an Enermax LiquidMax CPU cooler, so it's a single 120mm liquid cooler with dual 120mm fans in push-pull. Now remember, as always, it is an NCIX PC, so if you kind of looked at it and went, well, geez, I'd really like, a FX motherboard and like dual 120mm radiator cooler, whatever else, you can change that kind of stuff so you can do a little bit more overclocking out of the box. The GPU is where a lot of the budget went, and that makes sense for a gaming-oriented build, and it's a Radeon R9 290, so that's a 4 gig card, so if you wanted to run high resolution or whatever else, well, more memory is more better. Remember, more memory doesn't necessarily make a difference, if you're running at 1080p, but especially if you want higher quality textures and to run at higher res, it is a good thing. It's got 16 gigs of DDR3 memory from HyperX, as well as a 240 gig SSD. That's also a HyperX SSD, and the reason for that is that these days, if you even want your OS, some key applications, and then even a few games on your SSD, with games approaching the 50 gig range as standard install sizes, you actually need a bit of a higher capacity SSD than you used to. So that's where the 240 gig SSD comes from. However, it's still useful to have a spillover mechanical drive, so there is a 1 terabyte WD drive in the system as well. The whole thing is powered by an Enermax 630 watt modular power supply, and it runs with Windows 8.1 64-bit out of the box. There are a couple unique features in this case. So you've got a lot of drive expansion. This is kind of cool here in the front where you can actually move this rail over to the left so you can enable either 4 2.5 inch or 4 3.5 inch drives here. And other than that, I guess it's pretty darn bog standard. Just a well ventilated case. You got nice filters in the front so that you're not going to have to deal with too much dust buildup in your case as long as you've got balanced airflow, which the system is configured with. So single intake, single output, and then, well, the power supply doesn't really count because it's like intake, exhaust all at the same time. Now, if you decide to order one of these systems, I mentioned before, everything is customizable. I didn't mention it always comes with a 1-year warranty and in-house tech support. And of course, freebies, everybody's favorite part. All systems get a copy of Thief 3 plus a Radeon Never Settle gold coupon for your choice of 3 games up to $180 value. But as always, these freebies change over time, so you're going to want to check the link in the video description to see if they have changed because time has passed. Guys, as always, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this from NCIX. Thank you for watching this video on the AMD Series. I'm hiding now.